For bootstrapped and just small companies in general right now, YouTube is by far the most valuable real estate on the internet. For a long time, it used to be blogging, content marketing, SEO, web-based written content was the way to grow. And that's how I grew my company Castos to 7 figures in MRR or ARR as a SaaS company, mostly bootstrapped. And the model worked great, right? Because you just have to write, do keyword research, get links and rank. And that's changed. And I think that we don't appreciate the impact that that's had on the ability for small, mostly bootstrap companies to grow these days. Because one of the biggest, kind of arrows we have in our growth quiver, if you will, is largely gone. Content marketing and SEO here in April 2025 just doesn't really work anymore. Yeah, can it work? Maybe. Can it, is the play maybe now to optimize content for LLMs, ChatGPT and Claude? Absolutely. Do we know how to do that right now? No. I talked to some of the smartest people in content and marketing and SEO, and none of them have a clue how to optimize content to be ranked in LLMs. It probably has to do with links, which is harder to do than just writing content. But I think the reason that YouTube is such a powerful medium these days is because of AI. So AI has brought down the bar, or the barrier to entry for written content to where anyone can do it. Literally anyone with a free ChatGPT account can write content as good as I can. And I'm an expert, right? Expert marketer and expert in my industry of podcasting. But that doesn't really matter anymore. So the barrier, the defensibility or the moat that I had is largely gone. But the ability to do what I'm doing right now is really hard and it's a pretty high bar, if you will, to be able to create content, to be able to speak intelligently and coherently, if I am. It is pretty tough, right? It's tough for somebody who is a 19-year-old with a ChatGPT account and who doesn't have expertise in the industry to be able to talk about marketing at this kind of level. I think the other part is a lot of us are wondering now, like, hey, this content that I'm seeing, like, is this AI generated or not? And the reason that YouTube is blowing up for small creators the way it is because rewarding genuine content and authenticity. It's rewarding you just showing up on the camera while I'm walking my dog like this and talking about marketing, because there's no way that ChatGPT could do this. And there's no reason that someone would want to do this with ChatGPT. And I think that's the reason that we're seeing platforms like YouTube rewarding authenticity, not, retention editing and all this fast-paced fireworks and everything. They're rewarding people just walking down the street with their camera, talking to their iPhone. And it's because that's what the audience wants, right? These platforms are so smart. They know through the algorithms that they've developed for years and years and years exactly what the audience wants. And they're rewarding creators that are doing that. So I think the personification of this really came from HubSpot, ironically, right? HubSpot has always been kind of the darling of content marketing. And a couple months ago, the internet kind of blew up with HubSpot losing 70% of their traffic, their web traffic from content marketing. And what happened is they saw it coming years ago. They bought The Hustle, they started the HubSpot podcast network. They saw the movement from web-based content to multimedia content, podcasting and YouTube. And they've gone all in on it to the point where when they lost this huge percentage of their traffic, they kind of didn't care, right? They already had planted their stake in the ground for what the next 10 or 20 years of content was going to be for their brand. And we've done a bit of this at Castos. We invested heavily in content marketing and SEO for a long time. And about a year ago, we pulled the reins back on that quite a bit because we saw diminishing returns from it, for one, but we also kind of saw the writing on the wall, like, man, AI is just going to make this so easy for everyone else. What's our competitive advantage now? And the answer was, we don't have one. We have a brand. I think it's about the only place where written content marketing and SEO really comes into play is if you have a brand already, you can support it by continuing to publish on your site. But if I was a new brand today, I wouldn't do written content marketing at all. And at most, I would use, one of these AI tools to just seed really smart, strategic, keyword-heavy content on my site for the LLMs to rank for. So if you're out there saying like, gosh, marketing is confusing these days, I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't know where the ball is going, I would look really heavily at YouTube. I think it's the future, and it's the place where if you invest there now, it's really hard, but if you invest there now, in a few years, you'll be really happy you did.